Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, I will show you how to play Xbox 360 games on your PC using the Xenia Emulator. If you're interested in playing Xbox 360 games on your PC, make sure to watch this video until the end, so you don't miss any important steps I'm going to explain. Before installing, make sure your PC meets the minimum system requirements. For the operating system, your PC must run at least Windows 10 64-bit or a newer version to use the Xenia Emulator. For the processor, you will need a 64-bit CPU that supports AVX or AVX2 instructions, so the emulator can run properly. For graphics, your PC must have a graphics card that supports DirectX 12 or Vulkan. Please note that OpenGL and DirectX 11 are not supported. A dedicated GPU is recommended, since integrated graphics may not deliver smooth performance during gameplay. Finally, the minimum required memory is 4 GB of RAM. However, using more RAM is highly recommended for a more stable and smoother gaming experience. For more detailed information, you can check the table shown on the screen. If your PC already meets the minimum system requirements, the next step is to open Google and type Xenia Manager into the search bar. From the search results, select the top link that leads to the Xenia Manager page on GitHub. On this page, scroll down a little until you find the Releases section on the right side. Then click the latest release, which is version 3.4.0, on the Xenia Manager page on GitHub. You will be directed to the release page. Scroll down to the Assets section, then click the xenia-manager.zip file to start downloading the emulator from the Xenia Manager page on GitHub. Once the download is complete, extract the file and open the folder. Then locate xeniamanager.exe and double-click it to launch the application. This is the main interface of the Xenia Emulator. If you want to customize it, go to the Settings menu in the bottom left corner, where you can change the language and adjust the theme. Also, if you want to receive automatic updates, simply enable the Auto Update Xenia option to keep your emulator up to date. Next, go to the Manage menu, which is used to manage your emulator versions. Here, you will see 3 options: Xenia Canary, Mousehook, and NetPlay. For this tutorial, we will select and install Xenia Canary because it offers the most complete set of features in the Xenia Emulator. After the Canary installation is complete, you will be prompted to create a profile. Simply click the Create Profile button, enter any name you like, and then click Create to save it. Finally, close the emulator. Once it is closed, a notification will appear confirming that Xenia Canary has been successfully installed in the Xenia Emulator. Now, reopen Xenia Manager to configure the universal settings for Xenia Canary. To do this, go to the Xenia Settings menu. In the Audio section, leave all settings at their default values. The same applies to the display options, specifically the internal display resolution. Do not change anything and keep it set to the default. However, in the frame limit section, you can increase it to 60 frames per second. As an additional tip, if you experience frame drops while playing, you can disable the vertical sync option for smoother performance. Next, in the Graphics section, under Graphics API, select Direct 3D12, as it is the most stable option for Windows. After that, scroll down slightly to the Draw Resolution Scale option. This section is used to enhance image sharpness. If your PC is above the minimum requirements, you can increase it to 2 times for 2K resolution or 3 times for 4K resolution to achieve much clearer graphics. However, if your PC has modest specifications, it's best to keep it at 1 times, which corresponds to 720p resolution, to maintain smooth performance. Next, the anti-aliasing setting is used to smooth the edges of objects so they don't appear jagged. If your PC has fairly strong specifications, you can try FXAA or FXAA Extreme. For the remaining settings, simply leave them at their default values. Next, in the General section, you can leave everything at the default settings. Then go to User Input, specifically the Input System option. Here, you can choose a setting based on the controller you are using. If you're using a PlayStation controller, select SDL2. If you're using a keyboard, choose WinKey. And if you're using an Xbox controller, select X Input so it can be detected automatically. However, if you prefer a simpler option, you can choose any. With this setting, the emulator will automatically detect and configure whatever controller you are using. If you're using a keyboard, make sure the keyboard mode option is set to enabled. If you'd like to learn how to map or customize the keyboard controls, don't worry. I'll explain it in the next step, so be sure to keep watching. For the remaining options, simply leave them at their default settings. Finally, click Save to store all the configuration changes we've made. Next, go to the Game Library option. To add a game, simply click the plus icon in the top right corner, then navigate to the folder where you store your game collection. As an example, I have a game in ISO format here. Just select the game file and click Open. Next, in some games, you may encounter issues such as visual glitches or unstable frame rates. To fix this, you can use the Patches feature. The process is simple. Right-click on the game, select Patches, and click Download Patches. Make sure your PC is connected to the internet during the download. Once it's finished, right-click the game again, choose Patches, then select Configure Patches. From there, simply check the patches you want to activate. Besides the universal settings, in the Xenia Emulator, you can also create individual settings for specific games. To do this, go back to the Settings Xenia menu, then use the drop-down at the top to select the game title you want to configure. If you're unsure which settings work best, simply click the cloud icon. This feature will automatically download and apply the most optimal configuration for that game, so everything is set up for you. Finally, click Save to store all the configuration changes we've made. As promised earlier, now we'll go over how to map the keyboard controls. First, make sure you completely close the Xenia Manager application. Next, Open the main Xenia folder, go to the emulator folder, and then open the Xenia Canary folder. Inside, find the file named xeniacanary.config.toml. Right-click the file, choose Open With, and open it using Notepad. Scroll down until you find the section labeled Hid Win Key. Under this section, you can modify and map the keys however you like. Once you're done, click File, then select Save to store your changes. Here's an important tip for you. After finishing the key mapping, I strongly recommend running the game directly through the xeniacanary.exe file from the Xenia Emulator. Why is this important? If you launch the game through Xenia Manager, there's a chance your custom mapping configuration may be reset to the default settings. To keep your control setup safe, it's best to open the game directly using the Xenia Canary executable. Next, to play the game using Xenia Canary, simply double-click the xeniacanary.exe file. When the emulator window opens, click the File menu in the top left corner and select Open. Then browse to the location where you saved your game file. Select it and click Open. Next, one more thing. If you have a game that comes in a 2-disc format like I do, for example, I'm using Forza Motorsport 3, which includes Disc 1 and Disc 2 in ISO format, you'll need an additional application to run it. To do this, open Google and search for Gualdemar Velocity. From the search results, click the first link that leads to GitHub. On the GitHub page, select Velocity. You'll be taken to a new page. Scroll down to the Releases section and choose Velocity Zex ISO. Finally, scroll down again to the Assets section and select Velocity Zex ISO Rare to download it. After that, extract and open the file you downloaded. Then double-click the Velocity.exe application to run it. This is the main interface of the Velocity application. Here, we'll only process and extract Disk 2. That's because Disk 1 is the main game file and can already be read directly by Xenia. Disk 2 contains installation data, such as cars and tracks, that needs to be converted into a folder format so it can be placed inside Xenia's content directory. Simply put, Disk 2 works like DLC or additional content that we have to install manually into the emulator to make the game fully complete. Now, in the Velocity application, click the File menu in the top left corner, select Open, then choose ISO. Next, find your Disk 2 file, select it, and click Open. After the file is opened, you'll see several folders such as Content, System, Media, and others. Simply click the Extract All Files button. Then choose a destination folder to save the extracted files. I recommend saving them in an easy-to-find location, such as your desktop or the same folder as your game. Once you've chosen the location, click Select Folder. Wait for the extraction process to finish. Once it's done, you can go ahead and close the Velocity application. This is the extracted content from Disk 2. Inside, you'll see several folders, but the most important one is the Content folder. If you open the Content folder, you'll find another folder with a long string of zeros. Inside that, there's a folder with a unique combination of letters and numbers. This code is the official ID of your game. Inside that game code folder, you'll find another folder with a long string of zeros ending in the number 2. When you open it, you'll see several files. These are the DLC files. These are the ones we need to install into Xenia, so that all the additional cars and tracks are recognized automatically. Next, open Xenia Manager again. Here, the first step is to add Disk 1 to the list. After that, we'll install Disk 2, which contains the DLC. To do this, click Open Xenia, then go to the File menu and select Install Content. Next, navigate to the folder where you extracted Disk 2. Open the Content folder, then open the folder with the long string of zeros. Go into your game's ID folder, and finally open the folder with the zeros ending in number 2. Here, select all the files inside the folder and click Open. Then simply wait for the process to finish. After that, close all the applications first to let the system refresh. To check whether the content or DLC has been installed correctly, right-click the game in the Xenia Manager list, then select Content and choose View Content. In the drop-down menu of the window that appears, select Downloadable Content. Here, you'll see that all the content or DLC from Disk 2 is already listed and marked as installed. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. See you in the next tutorial video.